Welcome to Joe's the Cars. So finally, I'm so excited for the fifth car. If you remember, my last car or our family's last car was the Zen, and we were. It was basically for my father. My father used to drive it more often, but I really liked it. And before we sold it, so we sold it in 2014, but before we sold it in 2012, so we sold our gets, as you know. So we I was planning to buy something different this time, as usual, as with all the cars. So we planned for a bigger upgrade, and fortunately in 2012 I got married as well. And once my wife came in, वो कहते हैं ना कि घर की लक्ष्मी आ गई, तो we got a bigger opportunity to go all guns blazing. So even both our families were so happy, and they all decided that let's help बच्चों को help कर देते हैं. And so the next car was the it was an SUV. So I don't know if you have guessed it till now. That was the Safari, and that time I think 2012 um, December, 2012 October, the car was launched. So Safari, Tata Safari had a major upgrade in 2006. That was the Safari Dicor, and then in 2012 it got a little bit of facelift changes. वो कहने के लिए facelift changes है, but actually there was a lot of improvements in the car. So there were a lot of mechanical glitches, many factory issues assembling में, मतलब fit and finish, बहुत सारे problem थे. But they fixed it with this car. That was the Safari Storm, and it was there. It launched in 2012 October, and we were one of the lucky ones who got the car in December 2012. So I still remember. Unfortunately, it was on a day. It was on a black day, where we India was shamed because of the in. So that was a black day for India, but of course, it was just a coincidence that we got the car on that day. So, lot of things to discuss. I was thinking that if the Zen that we had was for just for 3 years, but I had so much to say about it. So I was thinking, Safari, we kept it for 9 years. So how much more would I have to say? But I'll try to keep it crisp this time, because I know everyone doesn't have so much time to go through the complete video. So even what you guys can do is, if you feel I'm talking slowly, just go ahead and change the playback speed to 1.5 or maybe 1.7 if you can understand it fast. So it will save your time as well, and you will get my message as well. All right. So without further ado, let's move to the video. Coming to the Safari. Now, as I already told you, the Safari had the new model launched, and it was such a big occasion for the Tata family. Safari has been in production since 1998, but of course, with every new model, they improve their sales and reliability and things. But it was not up to the mark, I would say. I mean, Safari compared to other SUVs was still having a lot of niggles, issues, and many defects from the factory. But I really like the driving position. It is so awesome. I don't know if you guys have driven a Safari. If you have not driven a Safari, I would request you, please do go to your friends, someone who has it, or go to a. अभी जो new Safari आ रही है, that is not the ladder on frame, rear wheel drive. It's not like that. But the Safari Storm or the Safari Dicor, और उससे पहले जो Safari पेट्रोल और TDI आती थी, वो अगर अगर चांस मिले तो प्लीज ट्राई दैट, and you will know why there is a fan following, why there is a cult following of the Safari. So we started owning the Safari Storm in 2012 December, and we kept it for the next 9 years.
Uh, we went to lot of places like I think दिल्ली के आसपास कोई हिल स्टेशन नहीं होगा जो हमने कवर नहीं किया. So we Nainital, Bhimtal, Shimla, Chandigarh, जयपुर उदयपुर मतलब आसपास हिल स्टेशन और जितने भी सराउंडिंग प्लेसेस हैं दिल्ली के मनाली तक. I always wanted to go to Leh, but of course, by that time, I was married and I was, I think we already had a child in 2014. So उसके बाद थोड़ा सा things changed. I had to I could not have so many tours like frequent tours करने के लिए बिकॉज थोड़ा सा बच्चे को बड़े होने का थोड़ा सा इजी होता है. जब छोटे बच्चे हैं तो थोड़ा मुश्किल हो जाता है. So anyway, but still we really did as much as we traveled as much as we could, and 2015 was the time when we actually moved to Hyderabad. So my wife got a transfer to Hyderabad, and I also, requested for a transfer from my in my company. And fortunately, the team I was working with was also in Hyderabad. So I just had to pick up my bag and just move. So मुझे कुछ ज़्यादा changes या फर्क नहीं पड़ा. So it was a very good experience. So we came to Hyderabad. Of course, it was like a homesick moment where leaving Delhi was a big, big change. Hyderabad being south of India and Delhi being the core, you know, North India का जो दिल है वो दिल्ली. So it was tough. It was really tough to move, but of course, you have to go with the flow. जैसा requirement है family का, we should go with that. And once we moved to Hyderabad, then we had another huge area of touring. So we went to Hyderabad, from Hyderabad to Goa, Hyderabad, Vizag, Hyderabad, Ooty, Mysore, Bangalore, Kerala. You just name it and we were there by car. Pune, Bombay, everything. Like we got, I think everything near Hyderabad was covered by, driving there, and it was one of the most comfortable cars for a highway. We went for the 4x2 model, which did not have it was the top model VX model आता था उसमें. उसमें भी different models थे. Starting was LX, then there was EX, then there was VX. And VX में you had the option of 4x2 or 4x4. So 4x2 is basically your rear wheels are driving connected to the engine and the transmission, and the front wheels are just wheel. There is nothing there. Like it is not connected to anything. The only thing it does is it steers. So this was the first rear-wheel drive car that we had. It was the first car which is, a ladder-on frame. So ladder-on frame means there is a frame. There are two frames joined together, and then the car is built. नॉर्मली मोनोकॉक चैसी होता है जिसमें जो पूरा का पूरा जो चैसी है मतलब टायर से लेकर रूफ तक एक ही चैसी है. बट सफारी वाज वन ऑफ द लैड्रॉन फ्रेम प्लेटफॉर्म्स वेयर द द लोअर चैसी एंड द लैडर फ्रेम चैसी बोलते हैं उसको, और उसके ऊपर जो जहाँ पे जो पैसेंजर कंपार्टमेंट है या जो इंजन बे है वो उसका जो कवरिंग है वो अलग होता था. सो दैट वाज अ बिग एक्सपीरियंस, बिग upgrade I would say. So starting में I used to have some issues because it was really huge. The last car I was driving was Gibbs or then, और वहाँ से सफारी मतलब it was like फर्स्ट फ्लोर में आ गया आप गाड़ी मतलब गाड़ियों के अगर कंपैरिजन कर रहे हैं तो आप फर्स्ट मतलब ग्राउंड फ्लोर से फर्स्ट फ्लोर में शिफ्ट हो गए. तो उसके एडवांटेजेस भी है बिकॉज uh, you know as you can see, in the camera, I mean left or right, आपका जो bonnet है, you can completely see it. The whole bonnet would be visible. You know where you're going. Small cars में या cars which have a shorter bonnet or yeah slanting bonnet, you're not able to see where कहाँ पे इसका ending है. So SUVs का the lateral frame SUVs especially उनका ये फायदा है कि उनका जो बोनेट है नॉर्मली स्ट्रेट रहता है एंड बड़ा बड़ा इजी है उसको नेविगेट करना रोड में ट्रैफिक जैम्स में. तो एंड अनदर थिंग वाज सफारी जैसे ही आप कहीं ले जाओ उसको लोग नॉर्मली आई मीन इट्स नॉट दैट आई वुड ड्राइव रैश और आई वुड हॉन्क मोर or I would do anything. People would just see you in the mirror and they will either not come to your lane or they would move aside. So, well, obviously it is too big a car for city. So थोड़ा लोगों को डर लगता है कहीं स्क्रैच लग गया कहीं नुकसान हो जाएगा. तो obviously people used to stay away and it had that a very bad reputation of gangsters having it or VIPs having it or politicians. Basically, they used to keep it because mm, it was very comfortable, very roomy, very spacious, and उसको अगर bullet proof करना है तो ज़्यादा मेहनत नहीं करना, सस्पेंशन में ज़्यादा चेंजेस नहीं करना because it was already इतना वेट था उसका थोड़ा bullet proof कि शीट्स ऐड कर देंगे तो कितना ही क्या फर्क पड़ जाएगा. So if the best things about Safari is I can tell you. One is the view, the driving position. You love the high up down position and the suspensions. My God, it can just gobble up anything. आप speed breaker में लेके जाओ 60 की स्पीड में 70 की स्पीड में and you would be like अरे क्या था कुछ पेबल था क्या literally. I mean it had such a nice suspension system and it was expensive. Okay, I mean अगर वो खराब हो जाता तो मेरे को ये डर भी था कि अगर उसमें जो उसके स्पेयर पार्ट्स और उसकी जो चीज़ें जो खराब होने वाली हैं वो दे आर रियली एक्सपेंसिव टू replace. So in that case Mahindra was better at that time. Mahindra की जो स्पेयर पार्ट्स और स्कॉर्पियो आती थी उस टाइम उसका जो कॉम्पिटिटर था स्कॉर्पियो अभी इसको स्कॉर्पियो क्लासिक बोलते हैं बट उस टाइम पे स्कॉर्पियो आती थी बट उसका ड्राइविंग पोजीशन आई डिडंट लाइक दैट मच. उसका स्पेस नहीं था अंदर बिल्कुल स्पेस नहीं था एंड इट वाज लिटिल बिट उसका जो बोनेट वाज लिटिल बिट स्लैंटिंग टुवर्ड्स द ग्राउंड सो उसका ड्राइविंग प्लेजर इतना नहीं लगता था मुझे. ऑफ कोर्स उसका भी कल्ट फॉलोइंग है उसका भी काफ़ी लोग फॉलो कर रहे हैं. So, coming to the other advantages, it was very roomy for 5 people. Bilkul you can sit like a king and go. All 5 people, you would have so much like tons and tons of leg room, head room, shoulder room, any room that you think of, and it is there. So that was the case, and we used the car like hell. So one example I would give you लाइक अबाउट द स्पेस मतलब इसमें इतना स्पेस था उतना स्पेस था कि आई कुड हैव नेवर एवर यूटिलाइज्ड इट टू द फुलेस्ट टू द मैक्सिमम अनलेस यू आर शिफ्टिंग योर हाउस. मतलब अगर आप अपना घर शिफ्ट कर रहे हो तो ठीक है देन यू कैन यूज इट टू द फुलेस्ट. सो व्हाट हैपेंड वाज वंस one of my old neighbor bhaiyas they moved to UK and they came to visit India once. So they have 4 5 kids and they had lot of luggage. वो एक बार एक महीने के लिए इंडिया आ रहे थे वापस सबसे मिलने के लिए बहुत टाइम बाद. So I went to pick them up from the airport. I once I went there I was like, I saw their luggage. The luggage came in a different, like 2 trolleys. मतलब 2 ट्रॉली में because it was an international flight. So 2 ट्रॉलीज में उन्होंने help किया. You know, 5 family members. Sorry, 6 family members, 4 kids. मैं अलग, and we all fit inside one car. So उनकी जो सबसे बड़ी डॉटर है उन्होंने मुझे ये बोला था उस टाइम पे कि obviously she was born and brought up in UK, so she had an accent and She said that, uncle, your car is the best car ever. While coming from London, we had to book two cabs, and here, when once we landed, we all fit into one same car. So that is amazing. So she was so happy just by the fact that the whole family is together while, and they could travel together back home. So that was a big compliment. I mean, that was the only time when we were able to use the true potential of a, safari, the space, and it नॉर्मल कार में जैसे गेट्स में और जो नॉर्मल कार उसमें बूट स्पेस होता है 250 liters, 350 liters, 400 to the max. The most spacious sedan would have like 500 boot space, 500 liters of boot space. Like Safari was starting at 900. Can you imagine the amount of space? 900 liters. आपने अगर घर पे कोई टैंक लगा रखा है ना, जो 1000 लीटर का टैंक आता है, just imagine that much space you have to run around. Wherever you go, you can keep that much of luggage. Just imagine. So now you will get an idea of how big the boot was. So amazing, amazing the way they did it, and they were able to fit the diesel tank. They were able to fit the stepney, everything. मतलब सब कुछ कर पाए वो under the boot floor, but there was मतलब काफी it was a big engineering marvel, I would say. Then coming to the issues, I mean, it had issues. But अब टाटा ले रहे हो, मेरे को 10 लोगों ने बोला था यार टाटा ले रहे हो आप, 15-16 लाख की गाड़ी ले रहे हो टाटा 2012 में. इतने लोगों ने मुझे बोला भाई क्या कर दिया तुमने, गलती कर दी बहुत बड़ी. But I was also under the impression because I had done a lot of research. I knew that you know ठीक है, it had its fair share of issues, but you never know. I mean, because the new technology जो Tata ला रहा था, it was really good. They were doing their best to get the best engineers. And I think 2008 2010 में they acquired Land Rover. Tata had acquired Land Rover, and Land Rover being, under Tata, they were able to use their, architects or, उनके engineers, उनके technicians, they were able to use how to improve the car. So they really improved it from the previous generation that was the Tigor. So this was called the Varicore. So, it has a very big, full form. So anyway, we could cover a lot of technical stuff. So basically, इसका जो turbo है, it had variable timing, and it had a very very sophisticated system of injection, diesel injection stuff. So, and if you one fun fact that I would tell you is Scorpio and Safari, they both had outsourced their engine. You know, out, basically they got the engine from the same company. So the company that researched for the engine both had the 2.2 diesel engine, and both got it from the same company. So yeah, the issues that I wanted to tell you is, so it had a very peculiar issue. One is, मतलब उसपे जो issues भी होते हैं ना, वो ऐसे होते हैं कि आप अपना सर खपा लो कि यार क्या है यार ये. अब उसका ना डिक्की था, जो बोनेट में भी प्रॉब्लम था, उसके डिक्की में भी प्रॉब्लम था. तो बोनेट में क्या प्रॉब्लम था, व्हेन यू ओपन द बोनेट फ्रॉम इनसाइड, जब भी आप बोनेट खोलते ना, बोनेट नहीं खुलता भाई. इतना इरिटेटिंग है ना वो समटाइम्स आपको. जैसे मुझे क्या था कि आई यूज्ड टू फिल अप द वॉशर फ्लूइड फॉर द वाइपर. अब तुम बोनेट खोलना चाह रहे, खुल नहीं रहा बोरा, अब क्या करोगे आप ट्राई करते रहोगे, दबाते रहोगे, खींचोगे, फिर दबाओगे, फिर आगे जाओगे. अब इतनी बड़ी गाड़ी है, बार बार ये करने में पसीने छूट जाते थे. तो फिफ्थ सिक्स ट्राई में खुल जाता था. बट आई एम जस्ट सेइंग दैट हमें उसमें ज़्यादा कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. आपको कहीं आप यू वोंट बी स्ट्रैंडेड एनीवेयर. बट दीज आर थिंग्स विच आर लाइक जो फिट एंड फिनिश है. It was a disaster. I mean, for a car which has already, it was launched in 1998 or 2012 चल रहा है, and it might be a defect which was only in my car. That could have also been a thing. But basically what I saw was, these were niggling issues. So उसका डिक्की के साथ भी ये प्रॉब्लम था. कभी कभी क्या था, डिक्की का बटन प्रेस कर तो खुलता नहीं था कार, मतलब जो डिक्की खुलता रहेगा उसमें भी यार, एक तो 10 लोग, अगर सपोज आप फ्रेंड्स के साथ कहीं जा रहे हो या कुछ है, या 10 लोग देख रहे हैं, आपका बोनट नहीं खुल रहा, आपका डिक्की नहीं खुल रहा. कॉल्ड एंड वी हैड, उन्होंने बोला कि दे वर वेरी हेल्पफुल टू बी वेरी फ्रैंक. उन्होंने बोला कि कहाँ पे कार खराब है, कौन सा लोकेशन है, सब बता दो हमें, नियरेस्ट जो शोरूम है वहाँ से रिकवरी वैन आ जाएगी. सो दे सेंड द रिकवरी वैन. थोड़ा टाइम लगा उनको, देवर रिकवरिंग अनदर व्हीकल. सो दे केम अलोंग आफ्टर लाइक 1.5 hours. सो फनी फैक्ट वाज दैट जब वो रिकवरी वैन आया, दैट दोज गाइज, they just push started the car. And I was like, but कितना बड़ा बेवकूफ हूँ. मतलब I used to be like the car guru of the family. और मेरे सारे फ्रेंड्स मेरे से काफी टाइम पूछते हैं कि यार ये प्रॉब्लम है कार में, ये कार में. एंड आई फेल्ट सो एम्बेरेस. यार धक्का स्टार्ट तो ट्राई ही नहीं किया हमने. एंड वो बंदा आया, उसने फटाफट धक्का मारा, स्टार्ट हो गई, वो लोग चले गए. एंड आई बोला, एक मिनट एक मिनट एक मिनट, आप कहाँ जा रहे हो, तो कार तो स्टार्ट होगी. बोला नहीं सर, कार स्टार्ट हो गई, पर धक्का स्टार्ट में स्टार्ट होगी, बाकी आपको यू नो आप अभी तो आप हैदराबाद, आपको वापस जाना है, आप कैसे जाओगे. तो आई वाज लाइक, हाँ वैसे सही बोल रहे हैं, फैमिली के साथ फिर धक्का कौन मारेगा, ऑल दैट थिंग. फिर मैंने चलो ठीक है, टाटा शोरूम में चलते हैं. तो टाटा वर्कशॉप में हम चले गए, वहाँ पे चेक किया. तो बोला कि सर इसका कुछ टर्मिनल का प्रॉब्लम है, आपको चेक करना पड़ेगा, वील नीड 4-5 days टू चेक इट. तो मैंने बोला ठीक है. अब 4-5 days हमारे पास थे ही नहीं. वी वर गोइंग बैक होम इन मे बी 3-4 days. अब तो चलो शादी के लिए आए थे. Anyway, so then what happened was we just went across, we went back home after that in bus. तो केरला से हैदराबाद हमने बस करी बच्चे के साथ, बड़ा ही मुश्किल था. एनीवे चलो हो गया, वो फिर वापस आ गया. इसके बाद अब कार का कोई अता पता नहीं, कार मतलब उन्होंने रखी हुई है, क्या बोलते हैं, ऑलमोस्ट 2 weeks हो गया. एंड आई वाज लाइक, मैं बीच बीच में कॉल कर रहा हूँ, भैया क्या हुआ कार का, यार क्या हुआ कार का. एंड दे वर लाइक, नहीं अभी भी रिसर्च कर रहे हैं, ये कर रहे होंगे. लास्ट में फाइनली आफ्टर 3 weeks आई थिंक दे कॉल्ड. दे सेड सर, इसका जो पूरा का पूरा जो वायर है फ्रॉम बैटरी टू द इग्निशन थिंग एंड एवरीथिंग, इट इज लाइक रोस्टेड और वॉट एवर. उसमें कुछ जो जम जाता है ना चीज़ें, जो बैटरी कुछ लीक होता है, जो भी है. एनीवे, आई डोंट नो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली हैपेंड, बट दे सेड वो खराब हो गया. दे चेक इट thoroughly, एवरीथिंग. तो बोला ठीक है, चेंज कर दो. तो कह रहे सर चेंज तो कर देंगे, बट थोड़ा सा एक्सपेंसिव है वो पार्ट. बोला हाँ तो कितना है. कह रहे कि उसके कारण आपका पूरा जो इग्निशन सिस्टम चेंज होगा, आपका चाबी चेंज होगा, आपके लॉक्स चेंज होंगे. एंड आई वाज लाइक, हे भगवान कहाँ फंस गए यार. मतलब खड़े खड़े इतना बड़ा कॉस्ट आ गया हाथ में. So anyway, I mean, of course, there was nothing that I could do that could have, saved me from that problem. It was something that either it was a defect in the car, or the way that wiring was manufactured. जो भी है. Anyway, so if I almost remember the cost, it was around 50-60 thousand. ठीक है, बट ऑफकोर्स यार गाड़ी आपकी नहीं है, आपके पास, आपको you're missing the car, you're not able to go to places. तो आई रियली बैडली नीडेड द कार. मैंने कर दो भैया, देखी जाएगी. देन एट द एंड ऑफ द थिंग वी गॉट अ कॉस्ट अराउंड 50,000 समथिंग. So, then we had to go back to Kerala in bus. हम एक दिन बस में गए, एक दिन फिर वहाँ रात को रुके. उसके नेक्स्ट डे we started off back to Hyderabad. So we came in the car, and of course the car was really nice, मस्त था. And normally हर कार में 2 चाबी होती है. हमारे सफारी में 4 चाबियाँ थी. So I mean, two keys were, of course, they were not working. So the पुरानी keys थी और जो इसमें the new चाबी मिला, उसमें भी दो सेट मिला. So they were, but the service was so good. I really liked it. They serviced the car nicely. They fixed the door key rattling problem. See, so another major issue that all Safari owners would feel is the rattling sounds. You get cut cut khud khud cut cut khud khud. The whole car will, if you go through a bad patch of road, it will gulp up all the potholes, but it will make a lot of sound. तो दरवाजे खनकते थे, उसके पीछे डिक्की खनकता था, उसकी चीज़ें अंदर जो प्लास्टिक की चीज़ें थी वो खनकती थी. इट वाज अ वेरी रैटलिंग एक्सपीरियंस, बट ठीक है. आई मीन, सब कुछ माफ है, सफारी को सब कुछ माफ है. द फील इट गिव्स यू व्हाइल ड्राइविंग द कार, you forget all these small nickels. So anyway, so we kept it for 9 years, as I was saying, and उसका जो RC था वो दिल्ली से था, दिल्ली नंबर था. So we got this news that NGT 9 years 10 years कर दिया डीजल कार्स के लिए. So we were in Hyderabad, of course, and the it would have been a big problem if I kept it for more than 10 years, and if I go to sell it somewhere, वो RC invalid होगा. I cannot. The only option will be to scrap it then उसके बाद. So I started looking online to sell it. अब problem क्या है कि I'm in Hyderabad and Delhi number है, तो वो इतना easily accepted नहीं है, because then you have to get the NOC from Delhi and get the number changed. You have to pay the taxes, उसमें कुछ 2 लाख रुपए extra tax देना है. So I thought उसमें क्या झमेला करना. I just sold it off to Cars 24 करके. Anyway, it was a big problem. I don't know, आगे जाके कभी मैं आपको बता सकता हूँ उसका जो एक्सपीरियंस था. I'm still not very happy, and saw a lot of issues, selling it to Cars 24. But anyway, we'll talk about it sometime later. So let's talk about the car right now. So it was a very emotional time for me. कोविड आ गया था. इट वाज 2021, आई बिलीव. कोविड चल रहा था, एंड वी मतलब कहीं बाहर तो हम जा ही नहीं सकते थे वैसे भी. तो आई थॉट दैट लेट्स दिस इज द राइट टाइम टू सेल इट. 9 years भी हो गया था, and we had got the car for around 14 to 15 lakhs. It was on 12, and when the time came to sell it, we were not even able to get 3 lakhs. Maybe it was COVID time also, triggered that we were not able to sell it for a good price. So the last price that Cars 24 gave was 2.7. So we gave it across, and of course they give the payment rate उसी time दे देते हैं तो. एंड मैंने उसका एक वीडियो लिया था द कार को बाय बोलने के लिए, एंड बिकॉज कोविड था तो फैमिली नहीं आ पाई, बट आई वाज ओनली वन बाहर मास्क पहन के मैं घूमता था. तो द अदर थिंग वाज लाइक वी हैव 2 kids. तो फर्स्ट किड जो है जब वो पैदा हुआ था, तो आई रिमेम्बर वी गॉट हिम इन द सेम कार. हॉस्पिटल से घर हम उसको सफारी में लाए थे, एंड माई वाइफ really liked the car, and she was like, यार अभी रुक जाओ बेचना नहीं, अभी रुक जाओ. बस हमारे जो सेकंड चाइल्ड 2021 में हुआ, our baby girl, and we were lucky enough to bring her home in the same car, and it was very emotional that we got both our kids in the same car. And we always wanted that to happen. तो तब तक के लिए हमने रोक लिया था. उसके बाद फिर आफ्टर 2 months ऑफ माय बेबी डॉटर वाज born, we sold the car. So it was a big journey. 9 years with a car, it was just like a family member. And I think forgot to tell you the pet name. So of course, me being me, I keep pet names to all the cars that we have owned. Safari was no different. So Safari had, one very good character. What it had was the lights. So it had these fog lamps, अलग थे lights, parking lights अलग था, indicator अलग थे. मतलब वो तो of course सबके होते हैं, but उसका low beam के लिए अलग 2 lights थी, 2 bulbs थी. high beam के लिए अलग 2 bulbs. So this was the first car where we had so many lights. And to be very honest, whenever रात को कहीं हम जा रहे हैं, I never faced any issues. They were so powerful, the lights. Uh, and so because of that, the high beam was so powerful. Of course, I pity the drivers coming from the opposite direction जिनको glare मिल रहा है, and I used to always drive in low beam जब भी cities में है या जहाँ सामने से कोई नहीं आ रहा. So it was so bright that we pet named the car with that character. That was blinder. It used to blind anyone who is coming from the opposite direction. So very kiddish, but that was how it got its name, blinder. So anyway, सफारी चला गया हमारे घर से. ऐसा लग रहा था कि कुछ अपने it was the only car that we ever owned which had a soul. I mean, if any car, like out of the 14, 15 cars that we have had, if any car you say कौन सी कार में soul था, it was like the closest to a human being next to you, or taking care of you like a like a kind of a godfather. So it used to take care of us in highways. हमें ज़्यादा झटके नहीं देता था. हमें it used to keep us cocooned, and many other things. There are thousand stories which I can tell you about Safari, but of course, it will not. I cannot fit it into one video. So these were the main highlights, I would say, and this was I was in the top of the world, and I was so sad after that, after the Safari going, and I never knew कि मैं इतना दुखी हो जाऊंगा कि अब क्या, मतलब सफारी चला गया तो अब क्या लेंगे हम, मतलब there is no other car which could fit that bracket, that void. So it was already out of production. 2019 में Safari Storm went out of production. It is only produced for the army now. So only army के लिए it is made to order, and जो normal public है हमारी जैसी जो normal public है उनके लिए Safari is no longer an option. Safari Storm. Of course, the Safari which came later on was a bigger hit. It was a monocoque chassis. It was on the Land Rover platform, the D8 platform was the important part. So what next? And that you will know in the next video.
Like the videos, hope you understood and heard what all I had to say about the car. It was a very big jump from the previous cars that we had, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't think North India or South India में ऐसा कोई जगह है जहाँ हम नहीं गए कार में. So it was really fun, and of course it was very sad to let it go, but Delhi का जो NGT का rule है that all diesel cars has to go before 10 years. They won't even renew the RC. So it's I mean, I know we had a loss. We sold the car at very cheap price, but it's all for the good of the environment. So I think Delhi pollution is a big problem. My family still lives there. I'm really concerned, both my wife's family and my family. So really concerned because there are a lot of health issues which may come later on, maybe 10 years down the line. So it's not good to live there, I would say. So anyway, my friends as well, so many people I know who are in Delhi, I feel bad that they have to breathe that air. मोस्टली इंडिया में सब जगह ख़राब है, बट दिल्ली में थोड़ा सा और ज़्यादा डेंजरस है. But anyway, so I'm okay with the rule, but only thing is that when I was in Hyderabad, so selling the car was थोड़ा बहुत further difficult, so that's why we had to sell it for pennies. Anyway, so now coming to the next car, I mean, of course, Safari being Safari, the king of the road, क्या अपग्रेड करोगे उसके ऊपर. सो दैट वाज अनदर क्वेश्चन दैट आई ऑलरेडी ऑलवेज हैड. My family always had, my wife used to say, Kyumin, this is the best car ever, what further can we do? So stay tuned, and I'm sure you would, you would go with our decision of the next car. You would really love it, and I think this is also one of the best cars that we ever owned, even though for a short duration, but really nice car. All right, so if you have been watching, please subscribe, like the video, and try to watch the whole video so that you get the whole content. And if you want, you can just increase the playback speed, and do watch my shorts. I'll paste a pic of that. uh, they are very short, as you know, the shorts are very short, so you can go through that, and many of them have a lot of good information, which I think keep thinking, and as a hobby I just put it across. So hope you like it, and it saves you money and time and your effort. All right, well, relating to cars. Okay then, thank you, and see you in the next video.